Okay, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Um, it's a really great day around here. My 6-year-old son is going to be having his birthday party here in just a couple hours, and I want to jump on and just touch base with everybody because I didn't make it on here yesterday, and kind of share the topic of the day. And I think that it's just it's a very interesting topic because it's something that we human beings tend to really get ourselves stuck on in so many areas of our life. Oh my goodness, everybody's like sending me messages right now and everything. Morning, Ray. Morning, Nick. Morning, Addison. I guess it's not morning, afternoon, huh? Afternoon, Addison. Afternoon, Rick. Afternoon, Ray. Afternoon, Katie. Nice to see all of you guys on here. So yeah, so this is a topic that we tend to really get ourselves stuck in. And I'm going to just say, make a little shout here to you know who you are. I know that you're going to catch this. You're not going to be on here right now because I know where you're at. But there, a friend of mine sent me a message this morning, and it was about promises. And he's going to be going, oh my God, she did not just do this all based on my little text message to her. Yes, I did. Thank you so much for the inspiration. Watch out what you text me. So he had popped me this message about promises. And it's funny because, I've had this birthday party planned for a couple weeks for my son who's 6 today. Well, he was turned 6 on Friday, and we're doing a party today. And when I was discussing it with him, I threw out a couple different options, and I had looked at the weather, and Texas weather, it's a little manic around here. Sometimes we got sun, and sometimes we got a thunderstorm, and it can all happen within about 15 minutes. So it really is, you don't want to get yourself totally set on that. And so when I was planning out the birthday party, I told my son, I was like, well, if it's a nice sunny day and the weather is okay, then we can do the pool party that you want, because that's really what he wanted. He wanted to do a pool party. And I said, but we need to have a backup plan just in case, because if it's thunder and lightning or it's raining, then we're not going to be able to go to the pool. We can go do something else. So let's look at other options. And he had a couple different choices that he had been looking at. So there was options there, right? There was no promising going on. His promise was that he was going to have a birthday party today, and that we were going to let the weather decide as to what route we were going to take. So kind of go with the flow, get into the groove of things and not make such a big deal out of anything. And here's the thing. What we do is we take promises and we set them in stone, right? Because it's a promise. Don't break your promise. If you break your promise, then I lose my trust in you. I lose my respect for you. I lose all this stuff. How can I believe in what you say? Because you've broken your promise. Yet, now granted, I'm talking about the weather here dictating, and that, it's kind of like I had given options. I set the tone on the front side, right? Well, what do us adults do? We get out there and we focus in on these promises, and we do the whole don't break trust, don't do that. And then what do we do with our kids? We tell our kids, oh, I promise you this, I promise you that, I promise. We promise things to our spouses, we promise things to people that we're dating, we promise things to our work, we promise things to ourselves. We make these really big promises to things, right? I promise that this year things are going to be different, that I'm going to really get out there and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to, I'm going to get that body that I want. I'm going to make the money that I want. I'm going to be the partner that I really want. I promise you that I will never lie to you. Oh, that is bullshit right there. Like, we all fucking lie, okay? We tell lies when we don't even realize that we're telling lies, because we're not being truthful with ourselves often, so therefore we cannot be truthful with somebody else. You want to be truthful, you want to be your most truthful, authentic self, well, then you got to know who the frick you are first, so that you can be truthful with self, because otherwise you're going to be consistently lying to somebody else, no matter how many promises you make, right? So what do? We promise, and then the inevitable happens. We break a promise, and we feel like crap about it because we broke our word, right? That's what a promise is us breaking our word. And it makes us feel like crap. Or we just go, it doesn't much matter to us, right? Now, it should matter to us that we broke our word, But at the same time, we're the ones who made the promise. So we set up an unrealistic expectation from the get-go. And when we set up unrealistic expectations, even though they may be seemingly not unrealistic, for example, I'm going to throw my friend underneath the bus, and they know who they are when they watch this because they're not on here yet. Hey, afternoon, Andy. Afternoon, Brad. He sent me this message saying that they were going to a water park to play with the kids today. And my message back to him was, awesome. Are you aware that there's a thunderstorm coming in right around the same time that you're supposed to be at the park, the water park? And he said, yep, but we made a promise and so we got to go. Okay, so what I got from that message was we made a promise to the kids. And so we have to go. So instead of explaining that, hey, weather happens, Mother Nature happens, you've got to, or the lesson of, hey, the most joy comes from just enjoying the moment and being with the people that you're being with and enjoying this time frame and stepping into flow, allowing flow to happen, going in ease instead of trying to force something to go your way, which is what we do when we start to promise, right? We try to force something to go our way no matter what the outside circumstances are. So the weather, and this is a great one because we do this all the time. I promised that I would do that, and therefore it has to be. I promised, so it has to be, even though what? How many times have you promised something and then discovered, I don't have the funds for that. I don't have the time for that. I don't have the energy for that. Things just aren't quite lining up, but you force yourself to go through with it because you made a promise. And then what really happens? Is there really that much joy, that much happy? Do you really feel that great about it? Does the other person really truly feel that great about it when you're standing there and you're completely stressed out and you're frustrated, or a thunderstorm comes and wrecks your whole freaking day? I mean, sometimes we've got to know when to push through. Sometimes we've got to go, no, I'm not going to step back on my word here. I'm not going to step out of place. I said I was going to get this done, and I'm going to get this done. Come hell or high water, this is happening. But then there are those places in our life, which is a lot of the time when we make these, when we set these unrealistic expectations with no backup plan, with no side plan, with no other conversation about what really truly matters, which is stepping into flow. And the reason why I'm bringing this up today to you is because when we get so hardcore on these unrealistic expectations, or really, really holding to a promise that we made so that we don't look bad, we don't feel bad, we don't upset somebody else, we're taking control of somebody else's feelings or reactions based on us not being able to hold true to what we said that we were going to do. Or if you just take the promise off the table and say, hey, let's plan on this, but let's also see how it goes, you're a heck of a lot more likely to make everybody happy. Not to mention, you're taking yourself out of the position of being responsible for somebody else's feelings, emotions, or reactions, because you're not responsible for their feelings, emotions, or reactions, okay? You have no control over that. They have the control over how they choose to react to the circumstances, to whatever is going on. You have the control to also react to the circumstances. And sometimes, quite often, what we do in these moments when we make these promises is we end up pushing through on a place that we are actually a no to in that moment, because that's just the way circumstance, relationship, environment, events, time, money, energy has kind of dictated us, has brought us there, right? And what do? We push through when we're actually a fuck no, and we say, no, I'm still going to make this happen. I'm going to be a yes. And then we end up bitter, resentful, empty, over fatigued. We wonder why things just aren't lining up. We wonder why we can't manifest in life, but we're just forcing it, and we're forcing it, and we're forcing it. And it's because we're forcing it that things aren't manifesting. Manifestation of the things that you want to happen in your life happens when you step into flow, when you step into ease, when you get good with just letting the currents take you and having faith that your desire of what you truly want is that flow, that the universe has listened, it has heard, it has received your request, and that is how you are being guided. That's that flow. Now, you can try to paddle all you want over there, and you can try to make this happen and make that happen. But what really matters is, are you happy doing it? Or are you stressed out, freaking out, really disgusted by it, bitter. You name the emotion, overwhelmed, anxiety ridden, lost, empty, feeling used, feeling as though you're just an ATM machine, feeling as though people are only around you because they want something from you. That's all occurring because you're setting the wrong expectations out there, not because, and not because you're asking for what you want. You need to ask for what you want or what you need in these moments. Promises. A long time ago, intimate story here. Not sexy intimate, just emotionally intimate. I just got out of the shower. My hair is like drying all weird and it's not on me. I see it right here, like in the camera. I'm like, oh my God, that's so knotted up. If I don't pull it out, it's gonna be knotted later. Okay, sorry, girl moments. A long time ago, when I was married, eons ago, not really, that was a decade ago that I was married. My ex-husband, he is a phenomenal promise maker. He promised the moon. He promised all this different stuff that he wanted to, like the money that he wanted to make, the lifestyle that he wanted us to have. He promised, he promised these amazing trips. When we hit this goal, we're going to go here. When we hit this goal, we're going to do this with the kids. When we hit this, when we hit that. Promise. When we first got together, got married, and then I ended up pregnant with our eldest daughter, and I got really frustrated early on in our marriage because of some of the drinking and the bad habits that he had, and just his kind of college boy mindset. And I do mean college boy mindset, the whole partying and everything, and he was hanging with friends. And there was just a lot of stress in our world. And I actually left him when I was 6 months pregnant with our daughter. And he went to these extreme levels and wrote me some beautiful promissory notes, wrapped up in presents, and each present sentimentally meant something that he wanted to gift to me, that he wanted to experience with me, with a beautiful love note on the inside of the wrapping paper. I probably still have these someplace because it really was a very sweet gesture. Empty, but sweet. And what he did, it was like, I read all of this and it was him calling me back, like, please don't leave, right? But he promised me all these different things. I don't remember how many of there was. Well, here I was, 19 and young and hopeful, and my daughter's calling. Let me decline her real quick. Young and hopeful and not wanting to be a single parent and wanting everything that he had promised and was setting the expectations of. So of course I came back to the situation. I didn't really want the breakup, and I got back involved. And then what? 6 months later, 3 months later, it didn't even take that long. Of course, the promises just kind of went, blew up. They just consistently blew up like that. And my frustration and my bitterness as I was looking for this, because I'm looking for them to happen, and then when they weren't happening, I was getting madder and madder and madder about it. So I was just, like really frustrated, and then bitterness kicked in, and emptiness and separation started to kick in. And I kept looking at those, and I told him one day, because he would make these, he consistently over 20 years made promises of which he fell down on all of them almost. Like he batted about probably a 98% of not meeting the promises. Okay. And that right there left our relationship in turmoil. It left everything. It also put this bitter taste in my children's mouth, because dad was always promising to them too and talking to them about things. And then they just kind of got where they didn't even want to trust anything that anybody said. I still work through it today, where they'll be like, oh, I don't know, Mom. You said that we were going to do this. And I'm like, yeah, I said that. But here we go. I never made the promise. I was like, hey, I'd like to go do this. Are you guys on board or not? There's no, hey, I promise. Matter of fact, that's kind of an illegal word in my house outside of this right here, this conscious coffee, because of the negative tone of that word that has been set, and it sends a trigger of negative emotion out. So I encourage you to look at, what does the word promise mean to you? How hard do you hold on to the strings of the word promise? Like, how heartbroken are you, or how upset? Where does your trust lie? Do you really put your trust in there? Well, they made a promise, therefore I'm going to really lean in and trust. Are you looking for them to not do what they say, or are you looking for them to do what they say? And how hardcore are you set on them doing what they say? Can you actually step into the realization that you need to kind of go with the flow, and that shit happens, life happens, things change? How easy are you when it comes to those life changes? Take it into a college kid perspective. College kid goes to school, right? Starts school, says, I want to become a doctor, gets 5 years into becoming a doctor, and then goes, I hate this. I hate this. But mom and dad have been paying for college, have been doing this, have been doing that, and they feel like they really have to go do this, even though they're hating life. So they go and they finish school, and they absolutely hate life. And then they move into this career that they really don't want to do. Maybe they actually want to go over and become, I don't know, a mechanic, something else that they just feel more called to. But they feel like they have to be doing this because they told mom and dad, they promised mom and dad that they would complete this schooling, that they would go and get this career, that they would life change everything, right? So then they feel guilty, they feel shame about it if they don't actually go and do that. And then they go on and they live their life in a job, living a life that is not true to themselves, that does not fulfill them, that does not make them happy. No matter how much money they're making, they go and they just really dread every single day. And they're doing it because they're trying to hold to their word. They're trying to make sure that they don't let anybody else down. Is that what we want for our children? Is that what we really truly want for ourselves? Is that what anybody should have in their life? It doesn't sound very good to me. I mean, at the end of the day, what we all want is happiness. We want to be loved. We want to be happy. We want to have connection. We want to be fulfilled, right? So if we want that, doing these things, even though we said, oh yeah, in that moment it sounds good, or we feel like we really need to, so we go and we do it, and we throw these words out, and then what? So we live the rest of our existence unhappy and empty and bitter and frustrated, trying to live up to a word that was back then and is not our current self. Something to think about. Are you today the same person that you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, even 6 months ago? Are you the same person? Because if you're not the same person, then guess what? You probably can't hold true to your word of 6 months ago, a year ago, 5, 10, 20 years ago, right? You need to come in and reevaluate consistently where you're at, what your desires are, what your wants are. You need to reevaluate what you can actually give and what you can't give. Reevaluate your boundaries. Like, what is it? Where is that zone that you can actually work in? And where can you be healthy and comfortable, but at the same time expand yourself and just have just enough where you're like, woo, too. Because that's that zone that you really want to be in. That's where fulfillment comes in. That's where joy, happiness comes in. Healthy expectations is healthy expectations. We need to set healthy expectations. I want to make this. I want to have this in my relationship. I want this for my life. I expect well-being in every area of my life. Well, that expectation means that you want to draw in things that are going to create well-being in every single area of your life. Completely different than, I promise that I'm going to lose this much weight in the next day. No, I promise that I'm going to always and forever, I love this one because we do this one all the time, right? I promise that I will love you until the day I die. Oh, really? Maybe that promise is the reason why divorce rates is over 70%. I don't know, maybe. Why? Because we grow away from people. We grow at different rates. Yet we get really, really heartbroken and pissed off when somebody grows away from us or when we grow away from them and we don't fully understand. But that is a promise that the majority of people can't keep because of growth. Because 20 years ago, we were a different person than what we are today. 20 years ago, that person that we made that promise to was a different person than what they are today. But oh, we should just hang out. We should just stay in there. We should just make it happen no matter what. Now, I'm not saying dump the whole boat just because you're going through a rocky spot and you need to work some things out. No, get some freaking help and try to work through it with the best intentions if your heart is still in it. But if you're completely disgusted by your partner and you're so on opposite pages anymore that you are just two ships passing in the night and you don't even want to stop and talk? You don't want to take 20 minutes in the week to actually say hi and check in with your partner? Then there's something much deeper. That is two people that really probably are no longer designed to be together. That's a rough thing to think about for a lot of people. I know I've been there a few times in my life. But it's the hard, cold reality. And if you want the best for yourself, and if you want the best for anybody else involved with you, like that partner or children, then don't all parties deserve to actually have what makes them feel the best, what makes them happiest, and to actually sit down, discuss those things, and say, I know that we promised 25 years ago that we were going to be here until the day we die, but, you know, I haven't really loved you for the last 10. I haven't really wanted to be here for the last 10. You know, our children can tell when their parents are in love, when their parents are into each other. Our children can tell when we're happy, when we're sad, when we're consistently upset and not wanting to be there. And remember that children tend to do as they see, not as we say. So what you are giving them in that personal life experience, what they're seeing and they're experiencing on a day-to-day note, is how they will learn. Not from the words that you speak. Words don't really teach. They really don't. Life experience teaches. Feeling teaches. So what kind of feeling are you creating in your life? How are you actually showing up? How are you showing up and feeling in your life, with your job, with your health, with your relationships, in any particular area? Are you holding back here to this promise of you of yesterday, or yesteryear, or 20 yesteryears? Or are you checking in with yourself right now and saying, hey, this is just the way it is. Small stuff, big stuff, doesn't much matter. A promise is a promise is a promise. And a promise that you've made that's not in alignment to your soul, that's not in alignment to your heart, that's not in alignment to your life, is a promise that is only going to bring you suffering. It's going to bring you misery. It's going to bring you pain. And as sure as fuck is not going to help you manifest the life that you want. Because the life that you want is not going to come to you when you are vibing down here in this low, nasty, disgusted space. It's just not going to happen. I mean, that's like saying, oh, I want this bubbly, positive person in my life. I want this person that's so supportive. And I want this and I want that. And I want, oh, this person right here. Yeah. But I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to just cross my arms. I'm going to talk negative crap. And I'm going to just focus in on how bad I feel all the time. And I'm always going to look down. And I'm just going to be pissed off. And I'm going to bitch and moan and complain. But I want that person to come into my life. But as soon as, you know what, anybody comes near me, fuck them. I'm going to just slam the door in their face. They have no opportunity to come into our life, do they? Why? Because we're shutting it out with our energy. Well, when we are living according to some old view, some old promise, some old expectation of self, of others, of life, we're basically shutting down like this and turning our back to everything that we're claim that we want. If you want something, you got to open up and receive it. You have to open up and receive it. And that opening up is not just a physical opening up. It's a mental, it's an emotional, and it's a physical. It's a look for the opportunities. It's a look for the flow. It's a relax into it. Just relax into your life. Relax into your heart. Relax into your faith. And stop making such a damn big freaking deal over all these little things. Because when you make a big deal over those things, you're actually saying, hey, suffering's kind of fun. Being mad's fun. Being depressed is fun. How's it serving you? How is all of that negative energy, that negative vibing energy really truly serving you? It's got to be serving you somehow. Maybe it makes you feel important. Maybe it makes you feel good. Maybe it makes you feel like, hey, I'm not really responsible. I'm going to turn over all my power to others because they let me down and they let me down and they let me down. So I just can't trust. That's turning your power over to other people. Empowerment is about knowing thyself, empowerment, and living according to the way that you really want to, and calling in the good stuff that you want to call in, means that you have to get familiar with yourself. You have to make unfamiliar what has been familiar, and you have to make familiar what has not been familiar. So if you're vibing in this negative, piss poor energy, you got to make familiar that good stuff over there, which means it starts right here, right here. Take it easy on yourself. Have a little bit of grace on yourself. Know that you're worthy. Know that you're lovable. Give yourself that. Step into flow. And just really loosen the fuck up. Just loosen the fuck up. So, there you go. There's my tangent rampage of the day, I guess you could say. I am off to probably let my children down, although I don't make promises to my kids. But my son, he wants this, he wants that. He doesn't really know what he wants. And I just decided, you know what? This is the way we're going, because this is the door that opened. So that's the way that we're going to go. And we're going to go have fun. And here's the thing that I know about a 6-year-old. Even though his expectation might be over here or over here, and he doesn't want to go to over here because it's foreign. Once I take him into that foreign ground and I show him some laughter and some joy, you know what? He's going to be laughing, having fun, having a blast, and be like, oh, wow, Mom, that's a cool new place. Can we go back there again? Yeah. Get unfamiliar with the things that aren't making you happy, and get familiar with flow. Okay, guys, there are tons and tons of cool announcements. First off, I want to thank everybody who popped on here. Michael and Judah. Katie, thanks for your comments. Riley, Gabriel. Hey, my son's name is Gabriel. Thomas. I'm sorry, some of you I can't pronounce your name, so I'm just skipping past you, but I see you. Dawn and Ram, Keisha, morning, afternoon, I guess, actually, and Christopher, Smelia, Rachel. Oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch of people that has popped on and everything. So thank you for everything. Hit the share button. Help me get Conscious Coffee out and about a little bit more. I appreciate your support on that. So hit the share, make a comment, move over to my coaching page, give me a recommendation. Those are really, really good. Helps me, get out there, helps me help other people. It supports me in a really big way when you guys share your positive words of how just little things that I might be teaching or coaching on has impacted your life. And that is the recommendations. It just says recommendations on there. I've been trying to feed people over there a little bit, but thank you for all your love, likes, and comments on here for sure. You can, of course, follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com with some of the things that I would like to announce to you, and I'm going to just kind of throw these out here really, really quick to you. So if you want to know more about any of these, again, go over to my website, click on that. There's an events tab on there, so if you're local and you want to know what's she doing in the local area, if you go to the events on there, I've got stuff going on consistently. Addison and I will be teaching an oral intimacies class that is a co-ed class on the 22nd of this month. So that's going to be a really phenomenal class. It is PG-13. There is no nudity. There is no actual live demonstration. I've had a few people offer their services up to me. Not needed. We are using fruits and vegetables, and I'll just leave that to your imagination there. It is a very intense, very playful, fun, interactive class though. So you can find that on my events page. The other thing that you will start seeing out, ladies, I am doing Manifest Your Conscious Lover on the 23rd. So that is going to be a live worldwide training here on Facebook. That's going to be available as well. And then Addison and I are going to Punta Cana on the 24th for our girls trip that we like to do every single year. And this year we're off to Punta Cana, and we will be teaching a 3-day intensive workshop from the beach or wherever we're at. And that is going to be monetizing monetizing badass bosses. That's the name of it. I gotta get this name stuff down. There's just too much going on. But we're going to be talking about passion, play, and profits, how to bring those things together, and how our passion and our joyful, playful spirit also can bring us higher end profits in our life. And profits meaning not just financial, but profits as far as connection, just abundance flowing in and all the good stuff that we really truly want. So make sure that you check that out, because we are going to be launching that here this week. Will be the launch on the monetizing badass bosses. Let me see, what else? Oh, my gosh, guys, you're not left out. I got the ladies with the Manifest Your Man, but guess what, guys? Addison and I sat down the other night, and if you've been watching my Conscious Coffees, you know from the other day I did like a sex and masturbation one. And if you did not catch it, go back, watch it. All the details are in there. I think it was a really great Conscious Coffee. I actually really love that Conscious Coffee. Hit the share button if you love it too on that one. But that when I discussed, get this, men's masturbation coaching. Okay, so we will be doing men's masturbation coaching. It is a 9-week intensive training where you actually get to work with both Addison and I one-on-one, and also with us together. So this is going to just be a coaching program. It is already launched. It is up and ready to go. So I am so excited about that. You're going to be seeing a whole bunch of promotionals come out about that over the next week and everything, because this is just going to be really a cool way to, we've been hit by a whole bunch of guys asking us for help in this department to become more conscious, to kick up their masturbation game, to be able to learn how to connect better with self and with their partners, and to just stop doing things the way they did when they were 13. So guess what? That is happening, and it is launching probably later today for me. I think Addison already kicked it out yesterday or something. She's ahead of me. But you know what? She doesn't have kids. Yep. I'm going to use my kids as an excuse. No, I just haven't gotten around to it. So yeah, so that is going, I think that's about it for right this very second. That's what's on my brain right now. Yeah, so, and what do you say, Addison? Oh yeah, woohoo, so excited for June events. Yeah, there is a whole bunch of really, really cool June events coming up, and summertime is always just a hot, sexy time with lots of juicy stuff going on in so many different regions of coaching and educating. So I definitely want to, oh, thank you. Love it when somebody actually like helps me out here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, micro consults. I'm doing free micro consults right now. I was just reminded. Free micro consults. You can find the link to that in the comment section, along with the links to all these events, the micro consults. If you've been thinking about wanting to work with me, if you want to do some inquiry work, you want to figure out like what kind of coaching works for you, if I'm the right coach for you, take advantage of the micro consults. It is available if you have a phone call, or if you're here on Facebook watching me, well, we can do a consult through Facebook video or on the phone. So that's the way that is available, and it is free until the 4th of July. So take advantage of all that stuff. There's just tons and tons of free stuff and some cool opportunities coming up. I think that's it. I'm gonna go and climb on some kids stuff and eat some pizza and eat some cake and laugh and mom it up, because that's what this Sunday is all about. And you guys go have an amazing day. Look at your life. Look at the things that you've been promising. Look at the expectations that you've been setting and how you really truly feel about it. And try to rework those expectations into faith and getting into flow, instead of really locking down yourself and like really feel into your body. Like when you say, I promise this, how does that actually make you feel? Where do you feel constriction in your being? Where do you feel, like, are you a fuck yes to it? Or are you like just saying it to try to make somebody else happy, or, feel like you should be doing this or should be doing that? Like really truly get right with your shoulds, because a lot of times when we should be doing something, or we think we should, but it's just not resonating right here, it's just setting us up for disaster. It is. And if you set the expectation around that, well, at the end of the day, more than likely, nobody's going to be happy. So pay attention to your promises, okay? And get manifesting some good stuff in there by getting into alignment with who you are, what you want, because you deserve it. You're worthy of it. You're a beautiful soul. I know you are. You're in my tribe, so you must be a beautiful soul. I love you all, and I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Bye, everybody.